Hey guys, I'm CJ and Diamond went fucked our orders up. This is the long box for May the 8th, 2013. Alrighty, so since Diamond screwed up our order, or rather Hidden City Comics order, which is where we get most of our stuff from, we're going to be talking about some old stuff which I wanted to do last week but was unfortunately sick. So let's get into this. We have Earth 2, Issue 12, the conclusion for the Extermination Saga, and Age of Ultron, Book 7. So I guess I'll start with Earth 2 and then move on to the two big main events. Okay, so Earth 2, Issue 12, we finally, after 2 issues of teasing, we finally get Dr. Fate. Pretty much what happens is Dr. Fate comes back to life, kind of, and then battles Wotan, and that's pretty much it. Green Lantern meets Dr. Fate, and oh, we also find out that the Flash has been declared a fugitive and is now wanted by the law, including his mother, Mrs. Garrick, and I guess they're living with Alan Scott now, or staying with him at least. Same with Dr. Fate, and Alan Scott has this idea to use his media because he owns the Gotham City Broadcasting Center or something like that to try and get them on the good side of the press and put them in better spotlight because everyone's thinking, oh, well, they must belong to Apocalypse because they're not Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman, so how could they be good guys, right? One thing I do want to mention about this is not about this issue, it's about this series. Now, I'm aware that the annual issue 1 for Earth 2 is coming up very soon. In fact, I think it's supposed to be out come next month. With that being said, if you look at the cover and look at any of the advertisements, it'll show this image and there'll be the subtext of there is a new Batman. I really hope that DC Comics is just pulling our leg and that there isn't going to be a new Batman, at least for Earth 2. I think that's a really bad idea because part of the reason why this series as a whole has been working is because Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman aren't there. We can go and focus on characters that aren't that well known, like Alan Scott or Jay Garrick or, you know, someone. But if Batman shows up, I have a really bad feeling that Earth 2 is just going to become another Bat book. And, okay, as much as I like Batman, that's a really bad idea. We already have Batman and Robin, or Red Hood, or whatever. Legends of the Dark Knight, we have the Dark Knight, and there's also Detective Comics as well. 5 books! 5 books for Batman. I really don't think we need any more. I mean, seriously, you guys, no more, enough. And that's just the ones that Batman are directly involved with. If you count Red Hood and the Outlaws, Catwoman, Batgirl, like that's it's kind of overwhelming. And I think to take Earth 2 and to put a new Batman in there, this is what's going to happen. Again, that's just my opinion. For all I know, DC could turn around and surprise me, which I'm really hoping that happens. But, with that being said, like, there's nothing I can say about this. Overall, this issue was really good. I definitely go and pick it up again. It's not so good, I'd say go out and buy it now, but it's not a bargain bin, so I'd just say go out and get it. Okay, so next up on our list is Extermination, the conclusion. Okay, so for any of us who were following with the Extermination saga, we know that the astonishing X-Men Nightcrawler kind of bit the bullet to save a whole bunch of his buddies from getting killed. And in this book, this is kind of where everything wraps up. Jean Grey has absorbed the Apocalypse MacGuffin type thing. Wolverine is upset because, well, he didn't really want to see her do that. And even though, okay, yes, you know, this is a different version of Jean Grey, you know, fine, I understand that. I understand why Wolverine is like this, but at the same time, it's not his Earth's version of Jean Grey. In the end, what happens is everyone realizes that the giant, menacing bad guys, I'm trying really hard not to spoil any of this for you guys, are going to destroy the entire multiverse unless they do something to stop them. And the only way they can do that is by sacrificing one of their Earths, either the Apocalypse or the Astonishing X-Men Earth, in order to trap all of them in there so that none of this happens again. And everyone's kind of like, well, Nightcrawler, and this is the Apocalypse version of Nightcrawler, this is kind of all your fault. And Nightcrawler's kind of like, yeah, this is kind of all my fault, isn't it? And everyone kind of nods their head and he says, well, okay, I'm going to fix this. So what he does is he takes himself, like teleports himself back to the Apocalypse universe after teleporting everyone from the Astonishing X-Men universe back into their universe before closing it off. It's not said in plain English that he dies, but it's very heavily implied because they looked at him and they all said to him, you know, you do this, you're not coming back. And he looks at him and he's like, yeah, I know, but if I don't do this, everyone dies. And like that was the big thing. This ending, this is where it gets hard for me as someone who is reviewing this material, because I am a huge fan of Nightcrawler. This ending really, really pissed me off. It was still a good ending, but as a fan, this ending made me really upset. Because you have, like, on the first prologue issue, Nightcrawler, dead center, both his swords out, looks like he's gonna kick some ass, and he dies at the end. Like, okay, yeah, you know, he kicked some butt too, but he dies at the end. Well, okay, he dies at the end. So, yeah, I'm really, I don't want to use this word, but I'm really disappointed by all this. Because when I saw Nightcrawler, I was like, all right, maybe they're going to bring back the original Nightcrawler, and it didn't happen. So, but it was still a really good story. Still really liked it. Definitely am going to pick up the trade. I definitely plan on getting these graded. So, overall, like, you know, I'm going to give it a go and buy it now, guys, because this was really good. This story was really good. You know, aside from a few fanboy nitpicks here and there, really good story. They actually, they made a plan, they stuck with it, and they followed it through to the end. Unlike certain storylines that have been published by other companies that I could name right now, which we're not going to name right now because we're bigger than that. So, with that being said, definitely go out and buy it now. I know I, for one, will definitely be picking up the trade for this. Alrighty, and last, but certainly not least, Age of Ultron, Book 7. So, okay, I'll come right out and admit this. I did not pick up on this when it first came out for two reasons. Reason number one is I was still laid off and didn't have any money. And reason number two was because I vaguely remembered Ultron from when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that guy, whatever. And when I heard Age of Ultron, I figured, okay, it's going to be all about, you know, how this guy's powerful and, you know, this grand MacGuffin that everyone's trying to get and whatever else. I owe everyone who tried to get me to read this, and I stuck my nose up at them, a huge apology. This book blew me straight out of the water. The Extermination Saga was good. This one is 1,000 times better. Now, I have been told that the first couple issues were a bit slow. I obviously can't say for sure, and I know I will definitely be going to pick those up. I picked up book 5 and then started reading through with book 6 and now up to the current book right here. Overall, really good. Now, there's been some speculation going on because a certain Image character, I'm not going to mention who, if you are really interested, you can go look it up on Google or whatever else, is planning on coming back into this. And I have to say, I'm of the same opinion as a lot of other fans that this is some kind of hoax or ruse or red herring, and I'm kind of starting to think that Marvel Man may be coming back because, okay, let's think of it this way. So, for any of you who are following the Todd McFarlane court cases that concerned the different Image Comics characters, we know that he's now had to give millions of dollars because he lost. Marvel now owns, as far as I'm aware, all the rights to Marvel Man and put him in a trade paperback for the, I believe it was the comics in the 50s that they put in trade paperback. And they've spent probably, if not hundreds, then thousands of dollars getting the copyrights to that character and being able to publish those books. So with all that being taken into account, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm kind of expecting Marvel Man to pop up sometime and be like, oh, hey, what's up, everyone? I'm here to save the day, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, I really think that that will be the end result, will be Marvel Man showing up, or for any of you who read the Eclipse version, Miracle Man, same guy. But anyways, let's get into Book 7. So Book 7, Wolverine and Miss Richards, or I'm not even sure if she's Miss or Mrs., because stuff. Not going to spoil it for you guys. But yeah, I mean, they go off and to the past to kill Ant-Man, which is kind of confusing because I'm pretty sure Ant-Man is supposed to be doing stuff in Guardians of the Galaxy, but okay, sure. Anyway, so they travel back in time while the rest of the Avengers are off in the future to try and figure out what's going on there. Wolverine winds up killing Ant-Man, which kind of blew me away that Marvel would go and do that, but, you know, in a good way. And then, after all that, they go back to, I guess, present day, and everything's changed. The, like, there are all these spaceships that have crashed in the Savage Lands, and the Avengers don't exist anymore. There's now this new team of more or less the same characters that are called the Defenders. And Tony Stark looks like a reject from the Blue Man Group, which was really, really weird. Captain America is no longer Captain America. He's Colonel or Colonel America. I'm not really too sure. All I know is I hear them call him Colonel, so I'm not sure if maybe he's now Colonel America or if Colonel is his full name. Certain characters have changed in different ways. Wolverine has a different costume, or, well, okay, sorry, I should say a costume with different colors. But with all this being said, it was very interesting, and I guess we have a new universe now, which makes up for the Apocalypse universe being faded out of existence. I don't know what that was all about, but okay. Which makes me wonder, what's happened to the Avengers? Because they're still off in the future. So is this going to be like some Doctor Who or Back to the Future type thing where like they'll be surrounded in a little bubble and everything will just start changing around them? Or is this going to be like kind of time warp thing where they get all faded out of existence and none of them really existed in the first place? Or are they just going to be sent back to their reality or their universe? Either way, this series is really interesting. For any of you who haven't gone and picked it up yet and who can afford to, definitely go and pick this up. This was awesome. Very good. Very well done. In all honesty, I have not read a comic book like this that's been this exciting and this interesting in too long of a time. I definitely look forward to seeing where this is going, and I most certainly look forward to, well, hopefully seeing Marvel Man show up in the Marvel Universe. I'm CJ, and this has been this week's episode for The Long Box for May the 8th, 2013. See you guys later.